Hey guys, bought this 286 motherboard on eBay about a year ago. That was sold as is for parts, but I was pretty sure I could get it working. So I recorded a lot of footage during the actual repair. Went back to review it recently to finally make this video, and found that a lot of my footage was just terrible. It was all shaky cam. I was whipping the camera around, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually got motion sickness just reviewing some of the footage. So I've reshot a lot of this after the fact. Now, as is typical with these boards, there was a Varta battery near the keyboard connector there. That battery had leaked. It had already been removed by the time the board came to me, but not before it did considerable damage. There's a lot of traces here that are eaten away. And put in a postcard, fired it up, and not terribly surprisingly, didn't post all the way. It came up to a code 20. Now, in the manual for my postcard, code 20, it doesn't show anything at all, so it really didn't help in any way. Here we are around the keyboard connector. You see those traces. Now in this footage, I've already repaired the damaged traces. You can see two running under the keyboard connector and then that power rail in the background there. There were some damaged traces on the underside of the board as well. Those are patched. Now, unfortunately, repairing those traces didn't help. The board still didn't post fully at this point. I was even getting another error at one point. There was a CMOS inoperable error. So I tried replacing the RTC NVRAM chip. That unfortunately didn't help either. Now let's turn this board to give you a better look at the repaired traces. There we go. So yeah, you can better see the two traces that run toward the keyboard connector there. And there's a power rail. May not have been absolutely necessary to reinforce that power rail, but, well, couldn't hurt. So at this point, I've already replaced the NVRAM RTC chip. Now that's that one just above the big win bond next to the keyboard controller. It's the HD 146818P. So after I got the CMOS inoperable error, I decided to take a look closer to the BIOS ROMs over in the corner here. Now, 286 boards, to my understanding, 286s are all clones of IBM's original 5170 design. So you can take pretty much any 286 BIOS ROM and drop it into any 286 board, and it should work. So it was my intent to take a newer 286 BIOS, drop it into this board. It gives you some additional functionality, and I was kind of hoping it might fix the problem here. But when I pulled one of those BIOS chips, I found something very interesting, a little bit of a mystery. The BIOS high, that's the lower chip on your screen here, the 111H. I'm going to pull that chip off in a moment and show you what I found underneath. Yeah, here we are with the burned copy of the BIOS ROM. And if I take this one out, just above the corner of that logic chip, it's a little tough to see from here, there was a damaged trace just to the upper left-hand corner of that 74F74. That was actually green and crusty, as if it had been eaten by battery juice. I'll turn the board here in a moment and get you a better look at that. Now I've already removed the BIOS ROM socket, patched that trace, put a little bodge wire in there just like I did over by the keyboard. So continuity has been restored. There's a better look at it. Just to the upper right of that logic chip, you can see it hiding in there. There's a tiny little bodge wire. Now there was no other damage around that spot, and the battery is way over on the other side of the board. It's a good 6 inches away. No damage in between, just this one trace, for some reason, was green and crusty. Yeah, you see how far away that is? So let's fire this thing up and see if that fixed our issue. Of course, by this point, I know it did. Oh, and of course, that barrel battery in there, don't worry about that. That's just in there temporarily. It's a brand new battery as well, so just for testing, it's not going to hurt anything. I'll replace it with a CR2032 later on down the road. And of course, I'm also going to cover the windows on those EEPROMs. Again, this will be perfectly okay just for testing for now. Oh, I also have a 512 meg disk-on module connected to that multi-IO controller. So if I put in the settings in BIOS, if all goes well, this should boot right into DOS. Okay, firing up. There's our quad-tel BIOS. Got a beep, and we're in DOS. Sweet. All right, so MSD shows a very slow system. It's a 286, so. And I was going to run check it at this point, but, well, it ran really, really slowly, so we'll just go into Commander Keen and just run a quick test here. Yeah, looks good to me. I'd say we're good to go with this one. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe, and stick around for more.